Peter Maddox is a cartoonist slash comic book artist who's been making cartoon art since the 50s. And in the 80s, Maddox produced animated shows for CBBC, known at the time as Children's BBC, where he would create free shows. And one of them is what we'll be talking about today. Penny Crayon is about the titular character Penny, who's a teen artist who's definitely confident in her ability. She's straightforward and extroverted, but can be a bit full of herself sometimes. But she's still a likeable protagonist. I definitely prefer more out there characters who aren't afraid to speak their minds. They're more like softer, more positive all the time types of characters. So that makes Penny really fun to watch to me. But there's something special about Penny's drawings. They can come to life, and this is what makes the show interesting. Every episode revolves around this gimmick. She draws locations to have adventures in, luxuries to make days more fun, equipment to help her out with whatever the main conflict of the episode is, or help cheat on dog shows. There's also Dennis, who is there. Okay, that's unfair for me to say. He's Penny's best friend and always tags along on Penny's adventures. He's the foil to Penny's more straightforward and blunt personality, so that makes him more reserved and meek. While I do think he's nice, he's a bit too passive for my liking. There are times where he clearly thinks the situations the two get in are not a good idea, but he barely calls Penny out. And then the other times he's just complimenting her drawings.
It's arrived! It's arrived!
Oh, Penny, you're clever. Art is her best subject, Mr. Postman. She can draw anything.
Like in the dog show episode, Dennis was meant to enter his pet dog for the contest, but he ran off. So Penny draws a replacement dog.
Now, Dennis, stand there and keep a lookout and see that nobody comes while I draw Sparky on this wall.
Oh, Penny, do you think we should? It's cheating.
You want Sparky to win a rosette, don't you?
Well, yeah, I do, but...
Then keep a lookout, like I said. Otherwise, we can just forget the dog show and go home.
They end up winning the round, but Penny wants more. She keeps on drawing dogs of different breeds to win different prizes. Dennis says at the start a bit that it's not a good idea, but Penny's like, oh no, it'll be fine, don't worry.
Oh yes, I shall enter all my dogs, your ladyship. One of them's bound to win the cup.
You have more dogs entered?
Oh yes, we've entered one dog for each class. We breed all kinds in our kennels. Ours is a top-class kennels, ours is.
You must be a new breeder, my dear. I look forward to seeing more if they're as good as this dear little dog.
Thank you, your ladyship.
The other contestants aren't really happy about this either, and when they found out the sham, they're quick to shoot him off.
It was all a little joke, your ladyship. Well, that's right, yes. They weren't real dogs, just drawings of dogs. I'm good at drawing dogs.
Drawings of dogs? I'm a judge, not an art critic. You're disqualified.
Now get out of my show!
Cheese! Liar! Twister! Ouch! Ouch! Get out!
Like, I can understand why they're mad once they found out that, they were tricked and they hogged all the prizes. These characters were, mad at them from the very start. Like, they're pissed off at two teenagers winning a dog show.
There's something not quite right about this young girl winning every class of dog in every breed. Well, I've never heard of her before, or her kennels for that matter. There's something fishy going on here. She's not even listed. She don't exist. And I think she's a fraud.
At the end of the episode, Penny's like, can't they take a joke? Which I find funny. It basically just translates to me as, if I mess up, then it's a joke. And that completely rules me from all responsibility.
People don't seem to have much sense of humour these days, Dennis. We tried to explain that it was all a joke.
But I think it would have been much better if Dennis called her out here, because Dennis already knew from the start that, this was a bad idea, but he just kind of goes with it. And even then, I still think this episode is really funny. And I like how the characters didn't come out on top in the end, since they brought upon their own downfall. A lot of shows will just always have, main characters are good all the time. It has to end on a good note. They're always the good people, but, sometimes we just like to cheat on dog shows. And sometimes it just doesn't work out for us. While passive and in his friend's shadow most of the time, there are some times where Dennis takes the lead. In the Dickens of a Mess episode, he gets scouted by a shoestring budget film director to play Oliver's tryst. And him only. I like this because Penny gets a bit peeved that they only wanted him. I like to think that she thinks, what? But I'm the main character. It's supposed to be me. I should be playing. Why did they choose him? She does end up in there, but as a background character.
We will pay you for your time, of course. Union rates, cash.
Oh, all right then. Come on, let's see what it's like to be a film star.
Oh, I just need Oliver. I mean Dennis. All the girls' parts are spoken for, I'm afraid.
That's It's typical, that is.
Couldn't you find a small part for Penny, sir? She's a very capable actress.
Oh, very well, but you'll have to share your fee.
Other episodes I like include one where Penny and Dennis are on a school camping trip and then help an old gypsy lady. In this episode they get really nice winter outfits and I think they are really adorable. There's another where they go on a treasure hunt fundraiser but are being messed with by arsehole gingers who want to screw everything up for them because they're salty that their teacher took Penny's idea and not theirs.
I bet those spotty twins get the winning idea, Penny. They always do.
Favourites, that's what they are. Teachers' flipping pets. It's not fair. They always get up front. Just look at them. I suppose you thought that was very funny, sending us into that duck pond.
Oh, you got our first message then? Anyway.
There's one where they go on a trip to the Tower of London to see the crown jewels, but they have to stop a bunch of robbers since the Beefeater doesn't believe them. We also find out that Penny is a huge history nerd, which, same.
Within these walls, the blood of many illustrious prisoners was shed.
Good gracious, you are knowledgeable, my dear.
Oh, yes, Mr. Beefeater, sir. I've read everything there is to read about the Tower of London. History is my favourite subject. Next to art, that is.
Coincidentally, they also stopped some robbers that wanted to break into a bank that the two ended up in back in the treasure hunt episode, so what's with two teenagers being more competent than our own fucking police force?
Coppers, they were waiting for us. It's a fair cop. Look, they've got kids in the force now. They get younger and younger.
Throughout each episode, she draws different creatures, objects, or locations to help them through their adventures. But one episode I really like is called Haunted House. Now from the title you'd expect it to be about the two going to a scary haunted house where hijinks ensue. But instead, Penny has to draw a bunch of monsters and witches to get a haughty real estate agent to fuck off because he's trying to illegally sell her uncle's house without his permission. Not just without his permission, the uncle says that the house is
Not for sale. You don't see any for sale signs up, do you? Clear off, I say.
His business must be really bad then.
Excuse me, sir. Is my Uncle Max selling his house?
It's nothing to do with you, little girl. Little girls and boys should learn to mind their own business. Out of the way.
Cheeky devil.
Old people are so ungrateful.
Also, her uncle is a magician, so he helps get them out as well. And while the real estate agent is a prick and definitely deserves to be scared out shitless, they didn't have to deform their clients' faces. They didn't know the house wasn't for sale. Or maybe they did. The uncle did make it quite clear, but even then, they didn't deserve to. Like that, their faces could be changed forever. They ran off. You never know. Oh well, let's laugh and have some tea.
See this gentleman out of my uncle's house, Igor?
Talk of man, this poor baby, please.
Put me down. Put me down. I'm valuable property. Put me down. I command you.
Whoops. I think Igor put the estate agent down, Dennis.
To command is to obey, Martha.
The future. Now, this show is in desperate need of a reboot, in the same vein to how Danger Mouse got a reboot. There's just so much to work with the concepts and characters for it to just be forgotten in a semi-obscure 80s tune. So if you were to get a reboot in a similar way to DM, here's what I'd like. Penny's drawing ability. While cool is definitely really overpowered, she can draw absolutely anything and rubs it out as she pleases. She can also draw on any surface, including a metal door, with a pencil. Yeah, I don't think so. With her magic pencil, she could take over the world if she so pleases. The only real weakness that it has is that if the drawings get wet, they disappear. But even then, she has a waterproof pencil that she uses occasionally, so, you know. So to even it out, I think the way Penny's drawing should work out in a situation should depend on how well she draws the thing or object. For example, if she's really good at drawing horses, the horse itself would ride really fast and work well for them in the situation. But if she's not great at drawing something like cars, it could not run as well and go all over the place. As much as Penny prides her own artwork, she can't be good at drawing everything. And I'll keep the waterproof pencil, but she's only allowed to use it in extremely dire situations. As for Dennis, I'd like him to have more of a role so that the two characters feel more equal. I'll make him call out Penny more, but also give him episodes where he's the main character. We can also have episodes where Penny helps Dennis that are either caused externally by him or that are internal issues. We need a marketable dynamic duo, so we can't have one of them hogging the limelight while the other one grovels in the shadows. In conclusion, I think Penny Crayon is a really fun and chill show, though obviously it's not perfect. The show is a bit dated with its animation, the characters go off model all the time, and it's funny to look at the background characters, or even the main characters, and see their demented faces. Also, I think the show has like 2 voice actors, one for Penny and one for literally everyone else, and it's so obvious because there's like some old lady characters that are so obviously voiced by a man.
No, he's stolen me, dears. It was in the cards.
But the show's budget must have been really low, so I can look past those. If there's one thing that Penny Crayon is though, it's authentic. There's a lot of 80s cartoons out there that are clearly just walk-in advertisements for toys and games, and the actual show is just a half-assed product with no soul behind it. But Penny Crayon isn't trying to sell or advertise anything, it's just a simple toon about a girl with a magic pencil who loves to draw, and a nice one at that. So I'd recommend watching it. The episodes are up on YouTube and there are only 12 of them and they're only like 7 or 8 minutes long, so it wouldn't take much out of your day. Thank you for watching. Though seriously, I'd love some Penny Crayon merch.
Anyway.